You're not enough. You're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough. Is that going to happen for you? Can you please play small? It would make me so much more comfortable. Have you heard those words? I mean, it's kind of confusing. Are you too much or not enough? It's confusing. And if we haven't heard those words from someone else, who has said them to us? Have we said them to ourselves? I'm not enough. Oh my gosh, I'm too big. Oh, I should play small. What if they don't like me? How do I fit in? Well, let me just tell you a little secret. You are not meant to fit in. You are meant to stand out, and be exactly who you are called to be. Today, I just have a little bit of time with you to speak to you about impact. You see, the thing is that people are going to tell us messages. But the reality is that we get the choice whether or not we will believe those messages, whether or not we will live out those messages. And a number of years ago, maybe 10 years now, I was invited to do a TV show. The TV show is called Genuine Hero. Their vision was to be nationally syndicated. And I met a woman, I love to mentor young women, and I mentor twice a year through the financial world and mentor teen girls on how to start a business or climb the corporate ladder. I spent 9 years in the financial world, 5 promotions in those 9 years. I wasn't qualified for one of the jobs, you know. But you just gotta put your foot in there, because you just never know. Because if you can do it, if you're willing to do the work, amazing things can happen. But I met a woman and she said, Andy, will you come and audition for a TV show? I said, well, I don't know about that. She said, I think you have an amazing story. I said, I don't know about that. She said, let me tell you something. You only have to answer 3 questions. Number 1, who's your hero? How many of you have a hero? Raise your hand. Number 2, what did your hero teach you? And number 3, what are you doing different today because of the impact of that hero? Got that? Let me tell you something about me and my little brain. I do not have a hero. I do not have a mentor. I mean, I have mentors. I don't have a hero. I don't have a starstruck. Nobody's more important to me than anybody else. I mean, there is one guy I'm in love with, and if any competition in here, he is a single dad. He vacuums, and he's a nanny for a single mom. Anybody know who he is? Hello, Joe. I didn't think you'd be my college kid. I love Tony Man. He's the only famous person that I know. But most people, what's the number 1 answer? How many of you, if I said, who's your hero? Is it your mom? Who raise your hand real high, right? Then how many of you think my dad? That's the number 2 answer. But what if you have a mentally ill mom, undiagnosed, untreated, unable to tell you there's anything good about it? And what if your father drinks himself to death? And who the heck gets to be your hero? Well, for me, I don't think of hero. I think of mentor, and I think of life. I think of influencer, igniter, impactor. And sometimes people ignite your life for a moment. Like Mr. Penn, when I was 7 years old, lived in Champaign, Illinois, and I had a paper out in the dead of winter. And he would always greet me with a nickel and a butterscotch. Just a hard little, but I could keep going. He was my light in the midst of my heart. You have some people in your life that are touching just for a moment. But when I was 17 years old, I got a phone call from somebody you guys might have heard of. Well, it wasn't actually her, but it was her producer, and they said, this is the Oprah show, which of course I laughed and hung up on, because that's the right thing to do. And they said to me, we understand you are an exceptional teenager, and Oprah wants you to come on her show and tell your story. Wow. Let me tell you about how exceptional I was. I didn't think I was exceptional. I had dropped out of high school. I was working 3 jobs to support my 15-year-old brother. I'm in the middle of 7 kids until January of this year. Now I'm in the middle of 8 kids. Long story, but anyway, I won't get into it now. But what I want to say is that my mother's mental illness never ran away. There was this place called the Bridge for runaway youth. It's a safe house. And Oprah's show contacted them and said, hey, come, who's your star? Who's your girl that's making it? Who's doing cool things in her life? And let me tell you, I didn't think I was doing cool things. But they said, you're going to fly to the Oprah show on an airplane, and you're going to stay in a hotel, a fancy hotel, and you can order unlimited room service. How many of you think I was winning? How many of you in that moment? And then there's this thing that Kathleen and I have been kind of talking about all day called judgment, right? So I got on the show, and you think people are going to be nice to you, and what they're asking is, what's it like to live on the street? What's it like to not have a home? But the girl next to me, she was real sweet. The audience was real neat. There was 2 or 3 of us, one from LA, one from Chicago, and me from Minneapolis at the time. And they were judging us. Why would you stay home? Isn't that selfish to leave your family? Aren't you selfish? Well, you know what that girl said? She was real smart. She said, it's a lot better to be abused by someone who shouldn't love you than someone who should. People on that show were harsh to us. But here's the cool thing. Afterwards, Oprah Winfrey, Miss Amazing Oprah Winfrey, said, okay, guys, let's go back to the green room and pick out my outfits. I want to pick out 5 outfits because in 5 days I'm going to be naturally syndicated. I want you girls to tell me. But then she did this. She looked at me. And then she really looked at me. And she said, you know, my uncle abused me. My dad told me, don't dream so big, Oprah. You are a woman and you are a woman of color. You're lucky to be on the news. Stop dreaming. Do you think she listened? No. You know what she told me? She said, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what people told you you weren't. You were less than, you were too much, you were too loud, you were too quiet, you were too skinny, you were too big. Whatever that was, you are enough. And I want you to go out in this world and become who you're meant to be. Not what other people told you you are, but who you are meant to be. So when I answered those 3 questions, who's your hero, why, and what did they teach you? I don't know that I would call Oprah my hero, but I will tell you this. I was 18 years old at the time the show aired, and it was literally, it makes me proud to this day. It was literally the first time a woman looked at me and saw me and said, you could be something. I had been so often told everything I couldn't be. I can't read right. I didn't know how to read. Miss Rico, though, she was another lady. She whispered in my ear, you're good at math, Miss Amy, you're good at math. You see, sometimes when you don't know how to read, you think there's something wrong with you. I have dyslexia. Some people think I have a disability. No, I don't have a difference. We all have differences. I've written 5 books. One won a national award. The guy, when I was 21 and tried to go to college, you know what he said to me? Are you illiterate? There's a lot of misspelled words on your form. Like, I gotta find him and say, I got a book. How about nobody? You're less than you're whatever. You know how I got one of my jobs? In the midst of an interview, the guy asked me, just to freak me out, because I was going to be calculating commission for brokers, can you count backwards from 93 by 7, go? Now, some of you in this room are thinking about doing it right now. 2 odd numbers, 93, 97. 2 odd numbers always confuse our head. But in the midst of an interview, when you're nervous, most people panic. The requirements for the job was that I had a bachelor's degree, that I had completed college, that I had 2 years of accounting. I was a receptionist for $6 an hour as a single mom. But if you don't throw your name in the hat, you can never be chosen. I outworked people. I came in early, I stayed late, I did whatever it took. I was telling someone last night, my boss, when I did get that job by accident, on purpose, my son had terrible ear infections and his eardrums would it was horrible. And I remember her yelling at me, pounding on her desk, what's more important to you, your job or your child? Dang, and she slammed her hand down, her nail went flying up. And I said, please don't ever let me turn into her. Because I want to be powerful as I love others. I have been collaborating with professional speakers to make them better. How do we get better? We get better. Together we rise, not as we climb over each other. But I just want you to know that you are influencers. I'm watching you. People are watching you. People in front of you are watching you. People to the side of you are watching you. And people behind you. How are you making an impact? Sometimes I ask audiences, raise your hand if you're making an impact. Well, a third raise their hand. Some are shy, some just are like, I don't think I am. Here's the reality, you're all making an impact. So the question is actually, is it a positive or a negative impact? Just so you guys know too, there's no timer on here, which gives my mind 2 hours to speak. So if you want me to know, that'd be amazing. But otherwise, I'm with you. I'm all hanging out. So I just want to share with you, right? And I don't know when I started or when I did. You let me know, because I might just start going and going anyway. But really what I wanted to share with you today was that I realized that intentional living is about getting up every day and paying attention. Intention is about paying attention. have been told so often everything I am not, how I am less than you or her or him, and for many years I believed it. Recently I get told a lot more, you are too much. And what I recognize in my too muchness, because I am too much, is I'm okay with being too much. And if I'm not your person, your cup of tea, your sweet tea, whatever, it's okay. Find your people. But don't ever try to push someone else down because they don't align with who you are. Let them be who they are. Because when I started to like myself, holy cow, I am unstoppable. I don't need your vote. If I get it, great. When I speak, I always used to think, I hope you like me. I really hope you like me. And then I was like, no, I don't. I don't even care. And you know why I don't care? Because you might never see me again. But guess who you are going to see? You're going to see yourself in the mirror. I want you to like you better, not me better. It's not about me, it's about you. It's about you making an impact, about you being intentional. So really, there's all these words with impact, and so I just made one slide, this one, but what I want to do is really focus on intention. What does that look like and what does it feel like? And so I wanted to tell you about Oprah looking at me and reminding me that I had value when I didn't. But you know, you don't have to have an Oprah Winfrey moment. We need to have those moments with each other. I want you to have that moment with the hotel guests, with the hotel staff who has had a really, really hard 2 years. I want you to love on them. I want you to look up. I'm amazed at the janitorial staff that they walk with their head down always, and I always say good morning, and it like startles them. Because they don't expect people to be kind to them, right? But I want to tell you about a couple other moments. So I was a gym owner for 12 years, and I owned a small town gym, and then I owned a gym right inside the city, and people like me. I mean, I don't know if you guys met me, it's a 50-50 shot, half of you like me, you know? So people used to like me, and then I hired this super cute, young personal trainer. And I'm a whiner. Even though I own gyms for 12 years, I've never helped anybody lose weight, and I don't promote going to the gym. So that's why my husband here makes me happy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I help you with your mindset and your self-talk and your habits. You might lose some weight, but I don't care about the number on the scale. I don't care if you wear 1,000 pounds or 10 pounds. I don't care about it. I care about when you talk to yourself. That's what I care about. But my personal trainer, we do these group fitness classes. The average age in my gym was 70. I had clients 98 years old, but all over the place, and they love my trainer. And when I say love, I mean love my trainer. And they would be like offering daughters, granddaughters, great-grand. I mean, it was like, come on, they made me brand muffins, handful of change, always told me to pay him more. But one time I'm taking a class with him, and I'm just whining, because I'm a whiner, and I'm like, I don't want to do more push-ups. He said, come on. And then all the ladies gang up on me. And don't you bother Adam. You be nice to our Adam. I'm like, oh my gosh, sure, he's my Adam. Whatever, you know. And they start yelling at me. And when they all leave, him and I are hanging out, and I say, Adam, seriously, what is the deal with you? Like, why do people love you so much? And he says, being the humble, nice guy he is, they can't help it. They're only female. I'm like, you are fired. Yeah, he's like, I'm just messing. He goes, I don't know why. I'm nice to him. And then that night I went home. If you haven't met me, and I'm extremely extroverted, extremely ADD, and so I think like I'm moving. But when I lay down at night, I play back my day. And I get pictures. I see words in pictures different than other people. I saw this picture when I started thinking about it. I said, oh my gosh, I get it. I get what he does. I get why they love him. I finally get it. Tina, can you do 5 more push-ups?
Yes.
Oh, she said yes, I like that. See, a lot of times people just say no, but it doesn't matter if you said yes or no. Can you do another 20 after that? Tina, here's the deal. I believe in you, and I'm going to stay here with you until you get that 20. Okay, Tina? It might be a long night, Tina, but I care about you, Tina, and I want you to be successful. And even if we get 1 a day, and even if it's more than a long night, maybe it's 6 months or 6 years, I'm here. And what I started realizing is that Adam didn't just care about people, he saw people. I mean, if we're honest, if we're all honest, how often are we like to my husband, love you, honey, I'll call you, I gotta go. Oh, my kids, love you guys. Oh, my girlfriend, oh my God, you're my best friend, we should go, let's get together. Oh, we
that intention that he makes with every person. You know what he did? He said your name. He said Tina. He said it over and over again. And you know what else? He touched people. Not in an inappropriate way, but a respectful way. I mean, it seems like how hard is it? But it is hard for people. Like, what if you actually looked up, looked someone in the eye, and spoke their name and poured belief, encouragement, love into them? Often I ask audiences, can you please start in the next 72 hours and pour into somebody? If it's my daughter, I have 2 sons that love to hug me. My daughter's like, I don't like touching. I'm like, I know, but I do, so you're my daughter. I don't know. I'm going to give you a hug. I'll give you a side hug if it makes you feel better. But what I learned is people got uncomfortable. What do you want? Why are you doing that? What's going on? Because it's so unnatural to be loving and natural and intentional. Right? Once I did that at a conference, the woman was hysterically sobbing. She was sobbing when I approached her and said exactly what I said to Tina. Why? Why was she sobbing? I saw her and I cared. After that conference, that woman chased me down and said, just so you know, I lost my job. I'm going through a divorce. I was laying in bed this morning thinking, I do not want to go to the conference. How did you know? How did you know I needed that? How did I know?
Everybody needs it.
That's right. Who said that? What's your name?
Emily.
Emily said, everybody needs it. Everybody needs it, you guys. Everybody needs it. So I could go into more of these and I'm going to break up, but I do want to tell you one more quick story. I think I got 5 more minutes. Okay, good, I'm good. I got 5 more minutes. Awesome. 20 minutes is not enough for me, you know what I'm saying? But so my father passed away not that long ago. I hadn't seen him in 26 years. I guess it's been 10 years he died. But I hadn't seen him in 26 years. He was an abusive alcoholic. I don't have good memories of him at all. But when he passed, I was devastated. Does that make sense to anyone? Thank you for making sense. Because it didn't make sense to my friends. The same friends that I had cooked for theirs when they got sick, when somebody was born, when somebody died. People didn't show up. They didn't send cards. They didn't send flowers. Because why would you grieve a man that you never loved, or never loved you, or was only abusive? But if you know me even just a little, I am a hopeless romantic. I am still waiting for Tony to answer the call. My husband's like, honey, that was a TV show. I'm like, whatever. I'm kind of in love. Don't mess with my fantasy. But I just said, like, I'm waiting for that moment. Like, you know what kills my butt? I seem like a nice person, but if you have me at a funeral or a wedding, I am not nice. And here's why. If you are up there being sad because you lost your mom or dad who was amazing, as much as I love you and I want to be kind to you, I'm so jealous. And I'm always thinking, man, I'd give anything for 5 minutes of that. 5 minutes of a mom or a dad that could have encouraged me or believed in me or loved me. Or how about a wedding like that daddy-daughter dance? Could anything be more gut-wrenching? Oh my gosh. Right. So when my dad died, I was sad, and I had a little couch. I used to live in a big house, now I live in a little condo. And I had a couch in my kitchen. And for 4 days, I sat on that couch in a pink robe. And I was sad. And people didn't show up. And then on the 4th night, at 12:01 p.m., I know what time it was. I guess that's a.m., right? A.m., my daughter, 17 years old, was late for curfew. No matter how depressed you are or how sad, you know when someone is late for curfew. And then she brought 2 friends. I said, girls, you're late. They said, by 1 minute. I was like, what else do I have to think about on my couch in the kitchen, sitting there being sad? And they came in and I was sitting in the dark. And her and her 2 friends said, Annie, why are you sad? You're never sad. I said, well, my dad died. Oh, was he nice to you? No. Was he a good guy? Not really. But you were close? No. But you're sad. I'm really sad. Sometimes our sadness doesn't make sense. Sometimes people don't want us to be sad. It's been a really hard 2 years for all of us in different ways. I have buried 2 friends the same age as me. I have buried way too many people young in my life. And then we talked for 2 hours. It was 2 in the morning, and these brilliant girls have an idea. You know what? We should go to Perkins and have pancakes. And fix everything. Oh my gosh. Now, if you know me as a mom, you know that is not a weird request, because I love teenagers, and I love 2 a.m. pancakes, but I said, girls, I can't even get out of my pink robe, get off the couch, and go have pancakes. I'm out. They're like, all right, fine. They ran upstairs. And they came back downstairs, all 3 of them in robes. And they said, if you can't get out of your robe, we are gotten in ours. We are going to Perkins. Get off that couch. And we went to Perkins in our robes at 2 a.m. and we ate pancakes and we laughed and we cried and we loved one another. And we got back and I got in the shower and I got out of my life. Because the privilege of making an impact can come from a 17-year-old girl who's late to curfew. It can come from a math teacher who whispers in your ear, you might not know how to read, Miss Annie, but you know how to count your pennies. Can come from a trainer who shows you how to be intentional with your clients and love on them no matter their age, no matter their ability. Can come from many people. It is a privilege to ignite. It is a privilege to make an impact. Please, please love one another, lift one another, encourage one another, because this is what we got, each other for this moment. Please keep making a positive impact in our world.